All right. Okay.
Oh! Yeah! Oh! Yeah! Everybody down! Everybody down.
Better than during the middle of the film. Okay. And turn off your cell phones. So a little tale for you. So we have the People's Choice Award. Or this year, as it's known, the Grosh People's Choice Award. Every year, I get the results and we find out who the fourth place would be and whatnot. And every once in a while, it was a Midnight Madness film. Like, oh yeah, on back to, it was fourth place, Mike. Well, on back to, we can't say, yay, you were fourth place. I'm like, can we please do something? We get maybe a jury, let's try and give this particular section, Midnight Madness, an award. And finally, you got an award where it's not about a jury, it's about you guys are the people who vote. And so we got the Midnight Madness People's Choice Award. 2009 was the first year that we had that. And there was a little film which played on a Sunday night. The main floor was full, balcony was closed, no one knew much about the film, it was a first-time director, there was no trailer, there was no poster, and the underdog won that year, and that film was Sean Byrne's The Loved One. And so now, I'm really excited that the prodigal son is back. With the devil's candy.
Yeah!
I know that's a lot of pressure. Say hello.
Hello, thank you. It's great to be standing here again because if you guys didn't like the film the first time, then I wouldn't have a second chance. But sorry it's taken 6 years. I took a really long path. And I had twins. And I wrote quite a few scripts that didn't get off the ground. But this one did, so thank you to Keith Calder and Jessica Calder because between Midnight Madness and Keith and Jess and Snoop, that's been my kind of creative lifeline. So I couldn't be happier than to be here. This is so exciting to see a dream come true again. So thank you.
So we'll get right to it. So we'll be back for Q&A.
Sounds good.
Will you welcome back to the stage our prodigal son, Sean Byrne? Do you have someone to bring in?
I do. I have the Devil's Candy's own heavy metal hero. Please welcome to the stage, Mr. Ethan Embry.
Such a gentle tale. So, I mean, this is, you just finished this on Thursday, like the post and everything, so this is fresh off the digital, off the deck. Like, how did you just feel watching this?
It was surreal. It was, I mean, it was thrilling to see it with an audience because I wasn't sure whether it was going to work or not.
It's such a good audience.
Yeah, you guys are amazing.
I have to apologize. There's a guy sitting beside me, I think he's left, he was like talking during the beginning of the film. I told him to like, shut up. And then he was like, fuck! Okay, so it took you, so we saw you last year for Loved Ones, and it took took a while to get you back here. Where did you come up with this? Like, at what point during your journey here did you come up with the idea for this film?
I'd written a treatment way back in 2007. I had a short film called Advantage that played at Sundance, and so I wanted something else to shop around, and what you just saw bears absolutely no resemblance to that treatment. So that was, I just wanted to kind of make a haunted house film.
He just told me some of the other storylines that got lost, and it was amazing.
There's been about 50 drafts of this film. But I don't know, I was kind of scratching and clawing and trying to come up with something, and I just thought, what's the greatest kind of disparity of power in a horror context? And I thought like a child versus a monster, and that was kind of my starting point. And then I never made a supernatural film, and I probably thought that I didn't really know how, but it would be, maybe that would be interesting if it was my own kind of take. And then, you know, I love the classic supernatural films of the 60s, 70s and 80s with like Rosemary's Baby, The Shining and The Omen, and I thought, what if we did something with that kind of classicism and imbued it with a really, really modern kind of edge and just, you know, hell on earth rather than, you know, I love zombies, but I've seen a lot of zombies and I've seen a lot of vampires, and I just wanted sort of evil in the ether, but also keep it attacking and fast, because I've got I've got a short attention span, and I just don't like a numb ass, so hopefully none of you guys got a numb ass while you were watching it.
So now, when you were writing it, like, how did you go from writing to casting, and how did you hook up?
Well,
I sold my soul to the devil.
yeah, that was all Ethan had to do. It was like, we conducted a black mass.
I mean, we did see you last year on the big screen because you got that little role in The Guest.
Yeah.
So you've graced our screen before. But what attracted you to
I remember Keith and Jess, they sent the script to me, and as soon as I read it, I was in upstate New York, and I read it, and I fell in love with the guy. You don't get very many opportunities to be that dude, and I wanted to really bad, and I remember it was one of the few times in my career that I've actually screamed for joy, and I was told I got to do him. Yeah. So you sold the devil.
I mean, the just kind of the emotional gut punch between you and her is so great. Like, it's incredible.
She's amazing, that little kid.
And she's Canadian.
She's terrifyingly good. It's really easy with her.
Now, what about the casting of Ray? I mean, you really, I mean, he's, the name of the actor is?
Pruitt Taylor Vince.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
he's really, characters too often, and I think you've just doomed them even further with this. I mean, what attracted to you? I mean, him to you. I mean, did you always have that kind of like bulk in mind for that character, or like?
Yeah, I've got an aversion just to the scary looking monster that just stalks people, and like the slower you know, like someone can be running, and then the slower the monster walks, the faster that they kind of catch up. And so I wanted someone who was kind of human, that could find the man inside the monster. Or I mean, he's basically a kind of a vessel for Satan. But I just wanted someone real, and I remember seeing Pruitt in Heavy, the James Mangold film, years ago, and he has a sort of a kind of a childlike quality. I just thought juxtaposing that innocence with you know, the evil within made for a really interesting combination that wasn't as obvious as it, you know, could have been. And he just wore a red tracksuit really well. That's what I saw.
Do we have any questions from you guys here? Yeah, right in the front here.
This has been my personal favorite Satan movie of the festival so far. As a festival. I have a lot of questions that I'm content not getting answered, but one I'd like to hear you talk a little bit about the Ark Lady, because that bitch was Satan.
Yeah, Mara is actually the name of a fallen angel, and been kind of worked for Satan. But there's a kind of idea that Anton LaVey, who kind of founded the Church of Satan, would send out like nice little letters to people that he thought were kind of advancing the word. So like Marilyn Manson would get a note saying Satan approves, and so I think like Mara basically thinks that Jesse is recruitable, and so does Leonard. And in that sense, it's kind of like the crossroads story where Jesse's not particularly happy with where his career is, and the carrot of temptation is dangled in front of him, and he kind of takes a bite, but ultimately he realises what's most important is his family, and sort of by the time that he realises that, it's almost too late. But he's only a bad dad for a little while, because then he's kind of the Rocky dad, and gets her back. But that's kind of the Mara story. And she wears red as well. I don't know whether everyone saw that.
The
kind of connection.
Good style.
And the leather jacket, you have your hand up there still? Hold on 1 second. The back leather jacket. Second leather jacket, you'll be next, James.
Thanks. Who did the painting in the film? Was it all one person, or was it multiple people? And how do you approach them with, hey, make this as much like of a fucked up Satan piece as you possibly can, and run with it?
So Stephen Kasner did the paintings, and he's represented by H.R. Geiger's agent, and he's really well known in kind of underground metal circles and stuff.
Like really underground. Like 6 feet under.
He's actually a member of the Church of Satan, and I thought that was a really good start.
I went up to see him. I spent a week with him before we started shooting, and he taught me how to get the devil to come to my hotel room. I'm not joking.
I kept getting texts from him going, like, he's here, he's coming, I could feel him around me, and it was, I don't know, I just thought I wanted to try and go to someone who was kind of connected to the source a little bit more, rather than just a singing artist that was going to do kind of the Red Devil with horns. But yeah, I gave him kind of a loose brief about what I kind of wanted, and sort of mapped out where I wanted all the kids to go, and then he proceeded to completely ignore that and do something much better. And yeah, James.
About the argument about playing Ray, how did he do that? Do you know how he did it, or was there any CGI, or was there any production involved in the
No, that's just Pruitt. He's got, I think it's called a nystagmus, and that really, I mean, apart from the fact that he's an amazing actor, I really love the way that his eye moves, because it does, it's like it just makes him feel completely unknowable. Yes.
Yep, okay. So I saw there was additional music by Sun. Did you always want them specifically for this, or just any drone metal would have done?
No, it's always wanted Sun, because that kind of, like those satanic kind of incantations and Latin. No one didn't. I've just never been more terrified by music than Sun. And I thought that, you kind of, when you go to a drone metal band, then they're the best. And kind of once I heard the best, I didn't want anyone else.
First of all, Sean, we've missed you.
Thank you.
Second, between this and the loved ones, I've noticed that, speaking of music, your music choices are fantastic, and they seem to go with the scenes just perfectly. I was wondering, do you approach a lot of these kind of set pieces with the music with certain songs in mind while you're writing, or is it more of a natural thing that comes with filming?
I usually have the songs in mind when I'm writing, and then I think there is absolutely no way that I'm going to get them. But yeah, Keith and Jess and our sound supervisor Jonathan McHugh just pulled an incredible rabbit out of the hat, and it's an absolute dream come true to get. I can't believe we got Metallica.
Every track that we had playing as a backing track when we were doing the scenes, like we do a take with the track he had in mind, and then we do a take without it in case they couldn't get it. And every single song we did it to was in the movie, which is amazing.
Yeah, I mean, so I was hoping we'd get these songs, and didn't really think that we would. But we got a rough cut of the film to Metallica, and they responded really, really well, and they were really kind to us. So then once you kind of had the Beatles of metal, and then everyone else kind of, they kind of stepped into line.
We have time for one more question on the side there, yeah, the far side. Yep.
For this movie, what was like the movie that was inspiration for this one in particular? And on top of that, what were 2 or 3 of your favorite horror movies?
Bambi. I think in a way, kind of, my favourite horror film is The Shining, and it never used to be, but it's a film that the more that I watch, the more that I kind of tap into the insanity of it. And I think that the way that a location kind of infects the mind in The Shining was a big influence. And I read somewhere else where it had been compared to the Amityville Horror, and I hadn't even thought of that, but then that kind of makes it a lot of sense as well. But yeah, basically those films that I talked about earlier, like Rosemary's Baby and The Omen and The Exorcist. I mean, I think.
So kiddie horror. Anything with a kid in it makes it scarier, actually.
Yeah. I think if there's a kid involved, the stakes are higher. I mean, there was a dog in The Loved Ones, and then I thought I couldn't do that again. So on the kids, and I just sort of had twins during this kind of whole process, and so I think I was kind of terrified of the world and kids coming into it, and somehow that found its way in there.
He's the sweetest guy in the world who comes up with the darkest shit.
I probably won't let them say it until they're about 5.
And just because you're wearing a red hoodie, you get the last question there.
What were the voices saying?
He's coming for you.
You're working on a thing.
Yeah, I actually have no idea, and I don't really want to know, just because that sounds kind of bad, and it terrified me, and I think it's kind of, I don't know, what were the voices saying? I'm talking to you.
Everything that keeps me up at night.
I think there's something about, the devil's candy being innocence, so I don't know, it's like, maybe it was hungry.
To me, it's that greed. It's like you want to be better, and everything you know that you could do to make you better, but you're incapable of doing. It's that thing that's saying, this is how you do it. And it's just a little price to pay.
JC joining us.
And do we have any fans of cheap thrills in the house? So you're really good when you're beaten and bloody on screen.
I'm the northern Mel Gibson.
What else? Is there anything else on the horizon that you were working on that we'll be able to see you in?
After working on this for a little while, I had to go do something silly on Netflix. So I'm hanging out over with Lily Tomlin for a couple of years.
Nice.
Yeah, you just gotta watch Face the Friend, like polar opposite. It's my therapy. I would have killed myself if I didn't have that.
It's a pretty big range from kind of like sinking in the firing pits of hell.
Sean Byrne. It's stuff like this that I want to do. It's the cheap thrills, it's the shit that, again, stays with me for a couple of months. I mean, this is still with me, it still fucks me up. I love it.
This is the stuff we like seeing you in. We like seeing you in this. All right, and you guys, there's a surprise for you outside in the atrium as you walk out. So put your hands together.
One minute.